Good evening, good afternoon, anyone who's here already. We'll get started properly in a few moments, but thanks to those of you who are here. You were on time, so good start. And I'm assuming I can make the recording of this available. So if you're watching the recording of this, welcome. Obviously, it's not live for you, but this is the first of my live hangouts. I'm going to try and do maybe one a month. Just have to see how it goes, but I hope you're all well. In case you didn't know, I'm Dave, but you probably did know that. A few people in the chat. Hey, Madeline. Hey, Sam2 back again. Hey, Jules. Lovely to see you all coming in. So yeah, we'll just give it a few moments for people to come in and stuff. I'm assuming you can hear me okay. If you can't hear me very well, do let me know in the chat. But otherwise, I'm assuming it's all good. Hey, Brad. For those of you who are here and who are just waiting for this to get started, you may have noticed that I'm hoping to do some giveaways in this live stream. YouTube tells me that I can give away some free month's memberships to the channel. In order for you to potentially win one of those, now YouTube picks at random who these winners are, but in order for you to win one, you need to do a bit of manipulating of your settings. So I've pinned the instructions in the chat of what you have to do. Basically, if you find the join button on my channel, click that, you'll get a pop-up. Then there's 3 dots. Go in there, brings you to a menu, and just make sure when you go down to gift settings, you say allow gifts. And then later on, when we do the giveaway, YouTube is going to select some of you at random to win a month's membership of the channel. I assume that if you're already a member, and if you are, thank you very much, you can still win a month's membership, and that'll just save you a month's cost. So yeah, go ahead and set up those gift settings. Hey, David, good to see you. Sam, am I going to watch The Monkey next month? Hell yeah, I'm going to watch The Monkey next month. My plan is to go on opening night and to get a review up on my channel that very weekend. Are you going to go and watch it? I assume most of you are. It looks fun. I like the trailer a lot. Yeah, it looks like lots of people are going to die. It looks like lots of blood, lots of fire. So fun, right? Yeah, so we will get started properly in a minute. Those of you who are here already, do let me know in the chat where you're watching from. And like I said in the description of this, when I put the event together, if you've got particular questions, do go ahead and ask them. More than happy to answer your questions. I'd love to have questions from you. Whether it's just random stuff like whether I'm going to watch The Monkey, whether it's stuff about the channel, whatever, all good. As a Brad, you're joining from Liverpool. I had guessed as much, given that pretty sure that's the back of Mo Salah on your avatar. You're probably feeling very happy about football at the moment. I'm feeling rather middling about football because I'm an Aston Villa supporter. So yeah, we're doing fine, but also kind of perennially just a bit underwhelming as well. But there you go. I'm used to it. Had 31 years of it now, so good. Right, let's get cracking with something. So, I mean, I'm going to try and keep this live stream fairly free-flowing, but I've got a few things I want to try and get through. So I was going to go through a ranking of the horror movies that I've watched so far in January, just for a bit of fun and to sort of keep the movie theme going. We're going to do a Stephen King quiz because I've got my quiz book that I published a couple of years ago. I'm going to dip into that. So make sure you've got a pen and paper so you can write your answers down, and we'll have some fun with that. And I thought I would read you an extract from a story that I'm writing at the moment. Very much first draft, but would love to know your thoughts on it. And as I say, I'll try and work out how to do a giveaway. I think I can give away 10 months memberships. So 10 people will win 1 month's membership for those of you who are watching live. So that's exciting. We'll see if that works. And that's about it. Like I say, if you've got questions, pop in the chat. I reckon we'll probably run for half an hour, 40 minutes or something like that. And if you're watching on replay, then hi, you missed out on all the live fun, but I hope you're enjoying this. So let's go into the movies first. So it's that time of year where a lot of movies just get dumped out there, and people new releases in January not necessarily always the best. But I've been watching a few horror movies this month, some new ones, some older ones. So I'm gonna remind myself of what I've watched and just chat a little bit about each of those. Madeline, you just read my book and thought it was great. Thank you so much. That's really kind. I really do appreciate that. And Brad, don't feel bad about Villa. They're a proper club with a bigger history than Man City. Yeah, I mean, quite a lot of teams have got a better history than Man City as well, haven't we? So, yes, we are a proper club, just like you guys up there in Anfield. So yeah, we can agree we're all got much moral high ground compared to Manchester City. But yeah, good football banter within the first 6 minutes. I like it. So horror movies I've watched this month. I'm just going to go in order of when I watched them. Oh, Loke van der Zayden. I hope I pronounced your name right. Top 10 Stephen King characters. Off the top of my head, I'm going to ponder that while I go through my movie reviews. I might have to save that for a future special. Margaret White is definitely in there for you. I mean, started strong, definitely, with Margaret White. So, movies I've watched this month. Do let me know what stuff you've watched this month. I started off the month with watching Nosferatu in cinemas, the new Nosferatu. I've not seen either of the other two Nosferatus yet. So I went into this kind of hoping to be blown away, really. I wasn't really. It was all a bit flat. I felt like there wasn't much of a story. It looked very nice, and I liked Bill Skarsgård. I thought his performance was good, and Willem Dafoe was just like in a completely different movie, and I enjoyed him a lot. But no, I don't know. I was kind of bored. Yeah, it just didn't do much for me. Poorly acted from D. Yeah. I don't know whether poorly acted. There was just something missing. Maybe poorly directed. It was just a bit flat. Oh, hi Noah, by the way. Sorry, missed you in the chat there. But yeah, so Nosferatu kicked off the month in not the best style. The next day, though, we got more agreement. Good. I felt like I'm the only person who doesn't like Nosferatu. It's nice to find other people who haven't enjoyed it. So the day after I watched Nosferatu, I watched Threads, which is a made-for-TV BBC movie from 1984, which kind of the idea of it is that it's telling the story of a nuclear bomb being dropped in the city of Sheffield, which is where I went to university. It's in the north of England, and you kind of follow what happens and follow the survivors. So it starts as like this kitchen sink drama, and then turns into a nuclear thing. And I remember I asked my dad about it once. I was like, because it's infamous in Britain, a little bit like Ghostwatch, because it scared people so much that they've only shown it 4 times live on the BBC since it was first put out there in 1984. And I said to my dad when I saw it was on their on-demand services, did you watch it? Is it any good? He was like, oh yeah, we watched it. Scared the absolute crap out of us. That was like a year before I was born. So yeah, I was very curious to go in, and God, genuinely scary. Like, especially for something made for TV in 1984, it is outstanding. One of the best things I've seen in a long time. Just so haunting. The effects, like considering they're on a budget, the effects are just really good. So yeah, if you can check out Threads, as in like threads of cotton or whatever, well worth a look. Jules, you've watched Gerald's Game last night, creepy as hell. So Gerald's Game is on my list of things I've watched as well, obviously covering it for the channel. Yeah, creepy, super effective. Yeah, definitely with you on that. Next up, I watched Promising Young Woman. I don't know if that counts as a horror. So that was I can't remember her name now. The woman who directed Saltburn. Emerald Fennell, that's it. One of her earlier works. That was enjoyable. That was fun. Violent. twisty. Yeah, enjoyed that. Not necessarily horror as such, but horror leaning, I guess. So that was fun. And then I rewatched The Dark Tower, which wasn't fun. So we'll skip over that. Civil War, watched that. The Alex Garland one from last year, never got around to watching it in cinemas. Again, like horror leaning, definitely horrific moments. That was a weird one in that there were points when I was like, am I bored of this? But also I couldn't take my eyes off it and found it very haunting and harrowing. So pretty effective, I guess. So yeah, I don't know if any of you have watched Civil War. Like, what did you make of it? I was particularly disturbed by the final image, like the photo that was going over the end credits. But yeah, interesting one. I'm glad I didn't spend money to see it in cinemas. I don't think I needed to see it on a big screen, but I was interested to see it nonetheless. So question from David. When you write a short story with an ending that is left open from the reader's perspective, do you as the author have an idea how the ending plays out? That's a really good question. Sometimes, but other times it's just, sometimes I do, and I just can't articulate it into words. And sometimes it's more effective to not put it in there and to let your imagination be the one that's doing the scaring of you. Other times, genuinely, no. I just get to a point where it's like, that's about as much as is channeling through now. I don't really know where this goes next, but yeah, I'm just going to let it out there. I sort of make a judgment call depending on, once I've read it a couple of times. Sometimes it might be like, no, I do have an idea and I can take this further. And other times, like, no, it's actually more effective to let people stew on it. So, but good question, though. So Brad, you're saying you feel like you have to apologize for not liking the 90s hit. Don't apologize for your opinions. Own them. That's absolutely fine. It's not for everyone. Who we got here? The Butt Rock Savant. Greetings from Bangor, Dave. I assume that's Bangor, Maine? Or is it Bangor, Wales? Or is it Bangor, Ireland? And you've been checking out my 19 Reasons to Read. Thank you for that. Mark Smale, Dandelo, Pennywise, Ardelia Lortz, or El Cuco. Most terrifying, and will we see any of them again? Pennywise probably the most terrifying, just ahead of Ardelia Lortz. Will we see any of them again? Yes, probably. I reckon. Well, we're going to see Pennywise again on screen, aren't we? In Welcome to Derry. On page, I think Pennywise is probably done. I could see Ardelia Lortz turning up again, though. That wouldn't surprise me. So, on with the movies that I've watched this month. The next one I watched was The Timekeepers of Eternity, which is something I'm probably going to come back to on this channel and cover properly, because it's actually a remix, a sort of re-edit of The Langoliers. And it is fascinating. So it's like the Langoliers 3-hour TV version condensed down to 1 hour, which makes it really watchable, really enjoyable. And it's edited in this way that echoes Craig Toomey tearing the strips of paper, and all the on-screen edits are like the cutaways are all tears, and it's all black and white. It's so good. Like, I actually like the Langoliers TV version now, purely because of watching The Timekeepers of Eternity. So I may cover that for the channel. It came out a few years ago, 2021, I think, but well worth checking out. It's on Vimeo. You can find it. Matthew Pomeroy, greetings from London. Became a huge fan of King over the past year. Nice. Glad my videos have helped as well. So your current favorite is Pet Sematary and Doom McKee. Those are, great couple to have up there. My current ranking. So my favorite is The Dead Zone. And then sort of positions 2 to 4 alternate depending on what day of the week it is. Right now, off the top of my head, I'd probably say Pet Sematary, It, different seasons, and 11, 22, 63. Doom McKee is definitely top 10 for me. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. The Dead Zone is always number 1 for me, though. But yeah, get involved in the chat. Pop your favorite King in the chat. That would be great to hear. Let's rattle on through the rest of the horror films I've watched this month. So Oddity. Oddity is great. This was a film that came out on Shudder last year, an Irish film. It's kind of really small cast, really tight settings. It feels more like a play than a movie, and has like two of the best, most well-earned jump scares I've seen in a long, long time. And yeah, if you get a chance to watch Oddity, watch it. It is so good, and it's done in like an hour and a half. Yeah, so much fun. Sorry, Matthew, you just followed it. Does Johnny Smith have form of Shining? I mean, that is a good question. I'm going to say no. I think it's more a brain injury unlocking untapped potential in the human brain. But I may be wrong. And we've got some votes for 1122 and Pet Cemetery there as well. Yeah, good choices. So after Oddity, I watched The Descent for the first time, which was great. The only bit I'd seen of The Descent was the famous jump scare where it's on the video camera, but I really liked it. Really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I mean, I know I'm like 20 years late to the party on that, but fun. So we've got, sorry, I can't see your full username, Stephen King Books, something or other. Fellow constant reader here. Yes, I think there's quite a few of us here. Great to have you. How are you feeling about the possibility of a new Talisman book? Not great. The Talisman is one of my least favorite Stephen King books. Black House, I also didn't like too much first time, but enjoyed it more on second read. I'm always keen for new King, and hey, he might kill Jack Sawyer off, so that would be good. But yeah, I can wait is basically the short answer. But I know millions of people are really excited because the Talisman is like a foundational book for them. So yeah, I'm happy that we'll get it eventually, but let's see. So Brad's top 5: It, Joyland, Mercedes, 1122, and Misery. Yeah, some good choices there. So I'll just rattle through these films and then I'll go back into the chat. So I rewatched It for the channel. My video that is coming up very soon, but I mean, the short version, 5 stars, excellent. Then I went to the cinema to watch Wolfman, the new one, 0.5 star, utter crap, do not watch, terrible. Gerald's Game, we already talked about earlier. Yeah, really good, really, really great. I'm going to be recording my 19 reasons of that very soon, and that'll be going out next month. But yeah, I mean, God, the degloving scene, oh God. And then final two, so I watched Watcher, which came out a couple of years ago. That's the one about the woman who has gone to Bucharest with her husband and notices in their new apartment, notices someone across the street who always seems to be looking at her. That was really sort of Hitchcocky and twisty, and so more of a psychological thriller than a horror, but I enjoyed it a lot. And then I rewatched Cell because I forgot that I hadn't done it for the channel. Terrible, but yeah, you'll get to hear my thoughts on that on the channel in due course. So just going back into the chat. Sorry, this is good. There's lots of stuff coming in. So a Superior Ox says, if you could choose one book to get a remake, what would it be? Oh, so one book to get a remake. Do you mean like? Sorry, I might need you to come back to me on that, Superior Ox. Do you mean to get a sequel, or do you mean for a movie to get a remake? Because they're obviously quite different questions. But I like where you're going with it. So let me know whether you mean a sequel to a book or a movie to be remade. Brad, most underrated with Billy Summers. Billy Summers is very underrated, very good. And then we've got some comments from Fester McGee. Oh, you liked the Would You Rather video? Thank you. Yeah, that was today's one, wasn't it? I've got a few scheduled, so I'm losing track slightly of where I'm at. But yeah, that was a fun one. Did I see The Substance? Yes, I did see it, but I'm not talking. It's not on my list here because I saw it 2024. So good. One of my favorite films of last year. Just everything about it was just 5 stars. I just loved it. The body horror was incredible. The acting was incredible. The editing, the style of it. Dennis Quaid, like the shrimp scene was like the grossest thing in the entire movie. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, so good. Okay, Superior. So a book that has gone a movie and could be remade into a modern movie. So cool. Yeah, okay. So a movie. This is tricky because I'm I'm always of the opinion that I'd rather see something new that hasn't been done before. And I could tell you which movies I don't want to be remade, like Christine, leave that alone. The Dead Zone, leave that alone. Misery, leave that alone. Tommyknockers. Now, if somebody could do a good movie of the Tommyknockers, I would be very interested to see that. We don't need any more. We don't need any more Carrie, definitely. Salem's Lot they've failed miserably with. So it's probably the Tommyknockers of the ones that we've already had. But I'd much rather have something like Rose Madder or Duma Key, something we've not had before, Joyland, all of those kind of things. But a really good question. Yeah. Anyone else throw in your thoughts? That'd be a lot of fun. Mark Smale, Flanagan, and Revival. Let's go. Yes, I'd actually with Revival, I would almost take Flanagan out and bring in Ari Aster, who did Hereditary and Midsommar, because then we'd go proper nasty at the end, and that would be a lot of fun. Noah, do I watch any foreign films? What are some of my favorites? I do watch foreign films, yeah. My favorite, what was the name of it now? There was a Belgian film a couple of years ago that absolutely and utterly blew me away. I can't remember the name of it. Let me just find it. Because honestly, it was like one of the best. Yeah, Close. There's a Belgian film called Close, which was like, my heart is still in about 800 pieces after watching that film. One of the most amazing pieces of cinema I've ever watched in my life. Yeah, Close, so good. Some other foreign ones I've watched over the last couple of years. So The Feast is a film in Welsh, a Welsh cult horror film. Great. Parasite, that was pretty fun. Ninja Baby, I think that was a Danish one. That was pretty good. Dogtooth. Dogtooth, by the guy who did Poor Things and all of that. Oh God, that is like amazing, but all kinds of completely messed up. Worst Person in the World, great, really good. Like a sort of modern version of Amelie. But yeah, I do enjoy watching foreign films. I used to have a subscription to Mubi, so I could watch lots of cool foreign films. But yeah, I've sort of scaled back on that to try and save a bit of money, but I will probably go back to them very soon. Matthew reckons we need Needful Things, accurate series, not movie. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Jules, talking of Carrie, what do you think of the upcoming Amazon series? Yeah, I mean, it's like the last story we need, isn't it? But hey, if it leads to us getting stuff that hasn't been done before and Flanagan doing it, then I'm fine with it. But yeah, I'd rather see something else. Brad, what's your opinion of the Mr. Mercedes show on Prime? Now, this is where I can't remember where I'm at with my videos. I can't remember if my Mr. Mercedes one has come out yet. If it hasn't, my video on it will be coming out very soon. Short version, yeah, like it. I like it. The first series I like probably as much as I like the book, and I like the book quite a lot, Mr. Mercedes. Second and third series, I like them both probably more than I like the books. They're really good. They got wasted on whatever channel they got stuck on originally. Brendan Gleeson is great. I don't think my video is out for it yet, but there's a montage of Brendan Gleeson swearing in that video, which is worth watching the series for. Anyway, he's just great. And Harry Treadaway as Brady Hartsfield is like disgustingly handsome and utterly terrifying. So yeah, definitely check that out. Cooper Scroggin says, are you excited for Joe Hill's new book? Yes, I am. It feels like ages since Joe Hill put something new out. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. Superior Ox, do you think the Long Walk movie will be any good? Yes, I'm hoping it is. I feel like we've waited long enough for it. It's got a decent cast. I feel like this year has got the potential to be a really good year for King movies. I mean, The Monkey, The Life of Chuck, The Running Man, The Long Walk, we could get all of those and they could all be really good. It could be a year that we've not had probably since like 2017 when we got It and Gerald's Game in 1922. and then the Castle Rock first season. So yeah, I'm excited for adaptations this year. I think it's good. Yeah, Max von Sydow would be difficult to beat. You're right, Fester, when it comes to Needful Things. But yeah, that'd be a good story to give a series for. I'm generally like, I would rather have a movie than a series because I just don't have that inclination to invest all that time. But something like Needful Things needs to be a series, definitely. Madeline says, are there any adaptations that you think are better than the book or the short story? So like season 2 of Mr. Mercedes, which covers End of Watch, definitely better. Any others off the top of my head? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to ponder that a bit more. Doctor Sleep, maybe. I think Doctor Sleep, the movie and the book are pretty close to each other. But yeah, that's a good question. I might have to ponder that some more. We've got another Brad. Hi, Brad. Another Brad from Australia. Hey. You liked my daily trivia of King last year? Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, thank you though. I enjoyed doing it. Sorry, I just glitched for a moment there, but I am real honest. And Matthew says, aside from King, have you had an opportunity to read the You series by Caroline Kepnes? No, I haven't. I have not, but I will have to have a look into that. Right, I tell you what, let's get into the quiz, shall we? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dip into my quiz book that I wrote. I'm assuming most of you know about this, but yeah, I published a Stephen King quiz book a couple of years ago. So if you want to play, you just need something to jot your answers down on. And I'm just going to trust you to mark your own work. Try not to put your answers in the chat. This book actually started life with me doing exactly this, going live. This was during the pandemic. I would just go live on a Sunday evening and do a quiz, and it led to a book. But yeah, I'm going to pick a few random questions from here. So jot your answers down. We're going to have 19 of them, and then I will go through the answers afterwards, and you can just drop your scores in the chat. Let me know after 19. Robert O'Neill says, James Mason as Straker was fantastic. Yes, I agree. Straker needs to be like a creepy old English guy, definitely. Cool. So if you're ready, for the chat, I assume you can do emojis in the chat, can't you? If you're ready for the chat, give me some sort of affirmative emoji, like a thumbs up or something, if you're ready for the quiz, and then we will get into it. And while you're doing that, I'm going to see if I can. Oh, we've got a thumbs up. That's good. I'm going to see if I can work out how to give some. Oh, good. It's not where YouTube says it is, so that's fun. Well, we've got some chats. That's good. Okay, I'm going to come back to working out how to give away this thing because it is totally not where it says it is. So let's get on to the quiz. Right. First 3 questions are from quiz 1, which is just general Stephen King trivia. So first question for tonight. What is Stephen King's full name? What is Stephen King's full name? Next question. What's his date of birth? And the question after that, which of King's characters has the same birthday as Stephen King? So your first 3 questions, Stephen King's full name, his date of birth, and which of his characters shares his birthday. Get those ones down. I'll give you, I will go through them all again before the answers. But yeah, get those ones down. Okay, I'll have to check that out in a minute. Noah says he's already lost. You haven't. There's still 16 more questions, and it's all for fun mainly. Oh, Jules, you use the emoji of me. Thank you. See, members get to use emojis of me. It's all right. You've got none, Vesta. Superior Ox, you're saying you've got none. The only way is up. So round 2. Some trivia about King's family. So, which Nirvana song shares a name with Joe Hill's debut novel? So Joe Hill has a novel. There's the same name as a Nirvana song. What is that? Next question. This is question 5. So King's other son co-authored Sleeping Beauties with his dad and has his own novel called Double Feature. But what is his other son's name? He also wrote one called The Curator since I published this book. So what's Stephen King's other son's name? And last one from this quiz. What's the name of Stephen King's wife? What's her name? So yeah, there you go. So the Joe Hill book that shares a Nirvana title, what's Stephen King's other son called, and what's his wife called? Okay. Right. I'm going to do another 3 questions, and then I'll do answers, and then we'll pick up the rest of the quiz in a bit. So we can sort of leave it halfway, see how people are going. So this might not work on a live stream, but hey, we're here to experiment. It's anagrams. So I'm going to give you some words that you might want to write down, and they are anagrams of titles of Stephen King books. Now, don't worry if you're terrible at anagrams. I am also terrible at anagrams, but they're a good quiz question. So first one, the word is racier. So R-A-C-I-E-R, racier. What's that an anagram of? Which Stephen King book is that an anagram of? Racier. The next one is mastery tape. So M-A-S-T-E-R-Y-T-A-P-E, mastery tape. And the last anagram is denoted haze. D-E-N-O-T-E-D-H-A-Z-E, denoted haze. So, nearly gave you the answer there. Racier, mastery tape, and denoted haze. So, just to run back over all of the questions we've done so far. So we've done 9, got 10 to go. So what's King's full name? What's his date of birth? Which of his characters shares his birthday? What's the name of the Joe Hill novel that has the same name as a Nirvana song? What's the name of his other son? What's the name of his wife? And then the anagrams, which Tainted Crimson has very kindly put in the chat for us: racier, mastery tape, and denoted haze. So I'll give you the answers to those in a few moments. Question from, Creative Mantle Music has said, just listening at the moment while I cook breakfast. Yes, you're in Australia, of course. I saw breakfast and got confused, but then I remembered Australia. Great. Nice. How's Monday looking? I hope it's better than Sunday. Jake says, did I like the ending of The Dark Tower? Probably my favorite ending to any book ever, but no, it's very decisive. I assume that, divisive. Autocorrect. Yeah, annoying, isn't it? I really liked it. I thought that was the perfect ending for what it needed to. I thought it was exactly what that whole saga needed. So yeah, all things serve the beam, as Robert O'Neill has said. But yeah, I really liked it. And Joanne Rachel Anand said, "What is your favorite Stephen King book?" It is The Dead Zone, by a long way. It's going to be 39 degrees today in Australia. Whoa. I mean, that is too hot for me. Yeah, I can cope with about 17 degrees C. After that, not for me. Right. I'm trying to work out how to do this competition. It just doesn't seem to be anywhere. So that's frustrating. Might have to work that out for next time. But anyway, let's go on to the answers for these quiz questions then. So we'll consult the answer section of my quiz book. And then once you've got through these, you can let me know how you're getting on out of 9. So Stephen King's full name is Stephen Edwin King. Stephen Edwin King. His birthday is 21st of September 1947. And the character that has that birthday is Carrie White. So Stephen Edwin King, 21st of September 1947, and Carrie White. The next 3 questions. That Joe Hill book was Heart-Shaped Box. His other son is Owen King, and his wife is Tabitha. So Heart-Shaped Box, Owen, and Tabitha. And then those anagrams are Carrie, Pet Cemetery, and the Dead Zone. So those are your first 9 questions. So Stephen Edwin King, 21st of September 1947, Carrie White, Heart-Shaped Box, Owen, Tabitha, Carrie, Pet Cemetery, and the Dead Zone. So pop your scores in the chat out of 9. Let's see how people are going. 3 out of 9, that's good. That's good. 7 out of 9. I mean, that's showing off a little bit, but that's also obviously very good. 5 for Noah. Yeah. Stephen King Book Club couldn't remember if it was the 21st or the 12th. Which way to go? 4 for Tainted Crimson. 3 for Creative Mountain Music. 2 out of 3 in all 3 groups. That's 6. Yeah, 6 for Jules. 7 for Steve King. So, yeah, some. Oh, you got Edward King. Oh, so close. So close. Right. We will do the remaining 10 questions in a moment. But what I was going to do now. So some of you, if you watch my videos, you'll probably see me plug my short story collection at the start of the videos. And apologies if that gets a bit tiresome, but got to do the hustle, haven't I? What I thought I would do on these live streams is, I'm trying to get back into the habit of writing regularly. I didn't write that much last year. I was doing a lot of editing and proofing, a lot of editing with the help of my friend Dee, who was in the chat earlier. I don't know if she's still here, but she helps make my stories much tighter, and make sure I don't use the word terrible every other sentence, or awful or horrible. But anyway, I'm trying to get back into writing new stuff this year, and what I wanted to do was read you an extract from a story that I've just finished a first draft of. I haven't even gone back and reread it yet, so this could be a disaster. But I just wanted to read you a chunk of it and see what you think. And it might make an appearance at some point this year or maybe next year. So this story is called Feathers and Hummus. And that's a working title. But the premise of the story is first person narrative from a person who works in a supermarket, talking about an encounter with a strange person. So this extract sort of comes, this is about a third of the way in. Oh, hey, Tyler. Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for dropping by. So yeah, I'm just going to read you. It's about 1,000 words, this extract, so it'll take me a few minutes to read it. Creative Mountain Music, if my book's available in Australia. It should be. I mean, it's available on Amazon. But if you don't want to support Jeff Bezos and his evil machine, you should be able to just give the ISBN to your local bookstore, and they should be able to get it for you. So yeah, do check that out. I mean, but like I say, it should be available. So anyway, here's an extract from Feathers and Hummus, working title. And yeah, see what you think. Or just listen to the story. So anyway, back to the Feathers and Hummus man. Like I said, I smelled him first. I was in aisle 6, tinned vegetables, pulses, beans, meats, soups for 3/4 of it, before giving way to baking stuff at the other end. When I first got a whiff of that oppressive odour, which assaulted my nostrils and snapped me back into the here and now, I assumed some of the eggs had gone bad. The stench was foul, so potent it made my ears ring. Then I turned to go and investigate, saw this man now standing in my aisle who had not been there before, and realised the source of the pong was him. I can tell you now he was far cleaner than you're picturing. In fact, he wasn't unclean at all. Sure, his Converse basketball boots had seen fresher days, but those things never stayed pristine for very long. Above that, a pair of baggy, dark green cords and a faded black denim jacket covering a threadbare mustard-coloured t-shirt that had been a mustard-coloured shirt that had been buttoned all the way to his neck. Letting my gaze keep on its upward course, I took in a tired-looking but not unpleasant face, a nub of patchy, wiry brown fuzz covering his chin, a lounge between his top lip, and thin, straight nose, which was framed by 2 hazelnut eyes. Nothing in those eyes suggested anything untoward. He was holding a single tube of original Pringles and staring at me without seeing me. Not smiling, not frowning, just looking. I looked beyond him and then quickly glanced behind me to see if anyone else was around, either another customer or any of my colleagues working this shift with me. There was no one. It was just me and this man. I was about to ask how I could help him when that smell rolled over me again, bringing with it another bout of acute tinnitus. The odour was so strong, so disgusting that I recoiled. To say it was pungent would be an understatement. As it wafted past my face, crawling into my nose and stinging my eyes, I caught hints of something sweet and tangy, like vinegar and stale onions. As the shock of it hit me, I gasped for air, allowing the noxious scent to sit on my tongue for a disgusting moment. It tasted like mouldy cheese. I gave one quick retch, then composed myself and looked at the man again. He hadn't even noticed. Strangely, the smell had dissipated. It didn't linger like regular body odour. Normally, a smelly person has an invisible red zone round them where, once you break that boundary, their perfume is noticeable and permanent. Not this guy. Once it had gone, you would have never known, but it had definitely been him. It was almost like he'd passed wind and that it had smelled of old sweat mixed with damp dishcloth and overripe fruit instead of the usual tones you'd expect from a stranger's fart. I cleared my throat, then finally asked my question, noticing as I did that a short black feather was peeping out from his hat. "Can I help you?" I tried not to look at that feather as I spoke, but it was difficult not to. And the man noticed. His free hand slowly moved up the dark plume, which he plucked from his woolly hat, then held in front of his eyes. For a moment he just stared at it before speaking a single word. Dip. His voice was squeaky, high-pitched, and that syllable came out as a yap. Then he moved the feather towards his pursed lips. I watched as he began to suck, and the black, fluffy thing disappeared into his mouth, slurped up like spaghetti. His jaw tightened slightly, like he was strained or pushing something, before that stench crawled over my face again. It was just as sickening as before, but while I could imagine myself turning an appropriate shade of green, I managed not to flinch this time. "I'm sorry?" I asked. The man's lips smacked and he spoke again. "Dip," he squeaked, then shook the tube of Pringles. "Ah, I see," I said with a smile. "Sorry, I didn't catch you first time." The man laughed when I said this, only it didn't sound like any laugh I'd heard before. If anything, it sounded like a bird. Whereas you or I might have made a sound like, "Ha!" This man uttered a noise that was more of a caw. I wrote it off as my mind still being weirded out by the feather and tried instead to show this guy what he was looking for and leave him to it. "They're just this way," I started before choking myself off. He'd made that smell again. Whether it was a fart, a silent burp, or a sophisticated bomb of BO, it didn't matter. It was horrendous and all the worse for hitting me when my mouth was open. That acrid flavour of bad cheese hit me again, and I resolved at that moment to go vegan. "Follow me," I managed with a choked voice and walked past him. At first, he didn't follow. He just turned his head to keep staring at me. I looked back at him to see if there was a problem and spotted another feather protruding from his hat. Just like before, he saw me notice it and grabbed the thing. But this time he didn't slurp it. He simply chomped it, chewing loudly with his mouth open. It made a slurping, mashing, sloshing sound that was peppered with snaps and crunches when his teeth found the plasticky quill in the middle. He made short work of it and smacked his lips together again when he was done, before letting out another one of those strange laughs. "Caw!" Then he grinned and followed me. And there's your extract. So yeah, kind of fun, kind of gross. It gets grosser. I enjoyed writing it. I hope to share it with you at some point soon. But yeah, a brave man who reads live, says Robert. Yeah, it's good. It's a good exercise to do. I already spotted a couple of things there that I want to improve. So yeah. Oh, and you laughed at the vegan. Yes, good. I did include that as a joke. So thanks. Noah says, love the use of the word sloshing, underrated word. Yeah, that was the most fun about that story, was like finding words to describe somebody chewing a feather. So yeah. Oh, Robert says, I can't stop there. I avoided needless adverbs. Yes, I have taken note from the master. Oh, hey, Leonard. Finished Skeleton Crew yesterday. Cool. Did you enjoy it? It's a fun one. Like the highs of that are super high. Yeah. What's your favorite story in Skeleton Crew? Let me know. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Madeline. That's very kind of you. Cool. Let's wrap up this quiz then. So there's a few of you on 7, a few 3s. So there's definitely points to be made up. So we've got another 10 questions to go. So the next three questions are from, again, from the Where in the World round. So I'm going to tell you a place where a story was set, and you need to tell me which Stephen King story was set in that particular city or location. I gave you Lawnmower Man vibes. Nice. And Leonard, Skeleton Crew, Nona, Survivor Type, and The Jaunt. Yes, they are all good. Okay, so if you've only just joined, we're going to do some quiz questions now. Don't put your answers in the chat. Just jot them down on a bit of paper. It's just for a bit of fun. So, which Stephen King story was set in Pittsburgh? That's your first one, Pittsburgh. Next one, which one is set in Calla Bryn Sturgis? And next one, which one is set on Moose Lookit Island? So your three locations are Pittsburgh, Calla Bryn Sturgis, and Moose Lookit Island. Okay. Next up, I'm going to give you the name of a Stephen King story, like a short story or a novella, and I want you to tell me which collection it was published in. So which of Stephen King's collections, not like, I don't know, Playboy 1979 issue 400 and whatever. Which Stephen King collection are these stories gathered in? So, first one, Heavenly Shades of Night Are Falling. Which one is that in? Heavenly Shades of Night Are Falling. Next up, Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Which one's Mr. Harrigan's Phone in? And last one of this round, 1408. So again, which collections are those in? Heavenly Shades of Night Are Falling, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, and 1408. And don't worry, I will go through all these questions again before I do the answers for you. But yeah, Heavenly Shades of Night, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, 1408. With the next three, I'm going to read you the first line of a Stephen King book, and I want you to tell me which book it is. Simple as. So, which story has this as a first line? The terror, which would not end for another 28 years, if it ever did, began, so far as I know or can tell, with a boat made from a sheet of newspaper floating down a gutter swollen with rain. The terror, which would not end for another 28 years, if it ever did, began, so far as I know or can tell, with a boat made from a sheet of newspaper floating down a gutter swollen with rain. So remember, just keep the answers to yourself. Don't pop them in the chat. Keep them to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Great song by the band Reuben, by the way. That's okay, Tyler. Don't worry about it. It happened all the time when I used to do these quizzes every week. So yeah. But yeah, Keep It to Yourself by Reuben. Check that out. Great band. Okay, next first line. You've been here before. Sure you have. Sure. I never forget a face. You've been here before. Sure you have. Sure. I never forget a face. Oh, cool. We had 19 people watching at one point. That is great. I'm apparently it's 21 now. So, I mean, I'm glad to have the extra two. But if two people do want to leave, then obviously that would make it. I want 18 thumbs up. So if one person could give this a thumbs up, then we'll have 19 likes. That would be good. Okay, and final first line. SSDD. It became their motto, and Jonesy couldn't for the life of him remember which of them started saying it first. SSDD. It became their motto, and Jonesy couldn't for the life of him remember which of them started saying it first. Cool. And then the final question of the quiz. So I'm going to just give you a sort of description of a character, and I want you to tell me who this character is and which book they're from. And there's only one here because this is question 19. So final question. Which character might describe themselves in this way? So I was just living my life before Al showed me that damn rabbit hole. Now I'm on this crazy mission to alter the course of history, and I'm on my way to Texas. So I was just living my life before Al showed me that damn rabbit hole. Now I'm on this crazy mission to alter the course of history, and I'm on my way to Texas. So just whiz through those questions again for you. So the Where in the World was Pittsburgh, Calla Bryn Sturgis, and Moose Lookit Island. So which stories are set on those? Then, which collections have the following stories? Heavenly Shades of Night Are Falling, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, 1408. The first lines, I won't read all of them again, but there was the one about the terror lasting 28 years. There's one about You've Been Here Before, Sure, I Never Forget a Face, and then SSDD. And then that description at the end, the one about being on their way to Texas to change the course of history. So let's get into the answers and then add your score to your previous score, and we can see how people have done out on 19. So, where in the world? Pittsburgh. Christine is set in Pittsburgh. Caliber in Sturgis is, of course, Wolves of the Cala, the 5th Dark Tower book. And Moose Lookit Island is the Colorado Kid. So Christine, Wolves of the Cala, and the Colorado Kid. So next up, Heavenly Shades of Night Falling is in Hearts in Atlantis. Mr. Harrigan's Phone is in If It Bleeds. And 1408 is in Everything's Eventual. So Hearts in Atlantis, If It Bleeds, and Everything's Eventual. The first lines, the one about the 28 years, that was it. And if you were paying attention in the chat, you may well have got that, courtesy of one of your fellow viewers. Needful Things was the one about You've Been Here Before, Sure, I Never Forget a Face, all of that kind of stuff. And the SSDD one was, of course, Dreamcatcher. So It, Needful Things, and Dreamcatcher. And then the final question, the Who Am I? That, of course, was Jake Epping from 11/22/63. So Jake Epping from 11/22. So add all of those scores to your previous ones. So Stephen King Book Club, you got 6 out of 10 there. And I think you got, 7 last time, was it? So 13 out of 19. Mark's got 11 out of 19. Good scores. So yeah, post your scores out of 19. Let's see how you got on. 9 out of 19 for Jules. Madeline gets 13. Gav's just turned up just as we're wrapping things up. That's great. Nice to see you, Gav. 8 out of 19 for Superior Ox. See, you did much better than you thought. 6 for Brad. 6 for other Brad. 11 for Robert. 8 for Tainted Crimson. 6 for Festa. Some good scores, guys. Thank you for playing along. I hope that was fun. Right, I'm gonna just do one last attempt to work out how. No, I can't do it. Where can I gift these live memberships? I don't know, guys. It looks like the giveaway. I will have to work out how to do that for next time, because I'm following the instructions to the letter for supposedly how I'm supposed to do it, and so no idea. It's not showing up. So yeah, click on the dollar symbol. Yeah, clicking on the dollar symbol, and then it's just giving me the option to send myself a super sticker or a super chat, which I do not need to do. So yeah. Anyway, if you had to describe yourself as being a vicious little prick, I think great, good, such a good opening line, that. Hang on, so just catching up. Brett got 6 out of 10 and only did the last 10. That's a good score. You'll have to go back and watch the replay if I can work out to make it go live. So Mark says, Dark Tower ending / Afterlife short story. Thoughts, the wheel of car continues spinning. Yeah, Afterlife, that's the one. Is that the one where the guy gets the option to go through that door and live his life again, or go through that door and end it all? If so, I really like that short story. Yeah, very much enjoy it. And I really like the Dark Tower ending. That's already come up tonight, actually. Funny that is Car is a Wheel. Leonard, you watched Dolores Claiborne last night. Such a good film. That is right up there for me. Top 5 Stephen King adaptation at the moment, I think, with not many more for me to get through on my rewatch. So yeah, Australian Brad is currently reading Doom McKee. Great selection. Ooh, there we go. Thumbs up. Great selection. Yes, Mark. Yeah, that Afterlife story. Love it. So good. So fun. Yeah. I Okay, I mean, I think I've covered everything I was hoping to cover. I think that was a pretty successful first live hangout. So thank you so much for watching. Whether you're watching this live, obviously, thank you guys the most. If you're watching the replay and you've got this far, great. You know me, always open to suggestions. If you've got ideas for things you might like to hear in future live streams, then do let me know. I'm just going to double check just a few things around here just to be sure if I can. Is there anywhere I can give away these memberships? Train where? No, it's Sunday night. There's no trains. It's Sunday night in the UK. There are no trains. Or is that a hint? You want me to do a live stream when a train goes past so you can hear it for real? Thing is, I'm conscious it probably doesn't even come through on the videos, but it's so distracting to me. It was like in my old house when tractors used to go past. If any of you have been a viewer for that long, you remember when it was tractor before it was train. But thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. I really had fun doing this. Thank you all for turning up. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to probably do one of these once a month. So yeah, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays or your Monday if you're like Brad and you're already in the future. Incredible. Yeah, take care. See you soon. Brett, that's a really kind thing to say. Thank you. I'm glad it's doing that. It's bringing people together. Okay, I'm gonna bow out now. See you all at the next one. See you all in the comments in between. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Take care and bye bye.